Bangkok has long been known as a budget-friendly destination. But in recent years, prices for almost everything in Thailand's capital city have definitely increased. So since I'm in town for a couple of days, let's see what $20 can get us here while I get to know the city a little better on my first time visiting it. And the perfect place to start is with a ride aboard the Bangkok Metro. And a ride cost me 22 baht, which is about 65 US cents. No. Worked. You can just use your credit cards into the metro here in Bangkok. That's cool. Plus the metro here is really super modern. If you compare it to another Asian megacity, there might be a few more lines in some other Asian cities. So it might not quite take you to every corner of the city, but as far as getting around many of the main sites, it's pretty good. And when it doesn't work, then you can take a Grab or a Bolt. But right now, I'm on the metro because I'm headed over to a very special restaurant. And the restaurant is called Nai Mong Hoi Thod. And they have some special omelets. They just have a ton of oysters in them, so I can't not try that. So I'll start with the oyster omelets, and then we'll see where we go from there. And I've tracked the place down. Interesting. It says Michelin 2018 to 2023. Michelin guidebook. Interesting. 2, yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I got a seat right away. And the menu's pretty simple. And it looks like there's some dipping sauce. We'll see what that tastes like in just a minute. But I really love oysters. And I usually like omelets too, so I thought this place would just be the perfect place to try them both together, because I've never eaten an oyster omelet in my life. And I can see that fried rice coming by already. So I ordered 1 crispy omelet, 1 soft omelet, and some crab fried rice too. And this is just a nice place to sit. There's this nice smoke coming in, and all the food's coming out super quick. You could basically call this street food, I guess. So that looks like it's the soft omelet, I think. But it could also be the crispy, actually. I don't know. I couldn't tell from the picture. And both of the omelets just came out. It looks like this is the crispy one, if I'm not mistaken, and then this is the soft one. Although it could be the opposite, honestly. I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to try them both because they both look pretty good. This one's got some kind of like gelatinous gravy thing, though, that looks soft. But then it also looks crispier, the egg part. So the only way to find out is to try it, and then I can just decide for myself, right? Plus I got some crab fried rice. And the really cool thing is each of these plates just cost 100 baht, which is like, it's about $3 more or less. So that's a pretty good deal for a plate of food. It's not a huge plate, but there's oysters in it, come on. And this Coke only costs 15 baht, which is like, I think it's about like 40 US cents. I don't know how they sell Coke for that cheap, especially in a restaurant, but really anywhere. And let's try the so-called crispy one, or at least I'm calling it crispy. It's chewy. Wow, that's super good. And the oyster is really nice too. There's not really any salt or anything. You can really just taste the eggs and whatever this gelatinous thing is. It's like nice. And the spring onion and the oysters. This is awesome. But okay, they did bring out a sauce, so you're probably supposed to eat it with that. Looks like an orange sauce. Let's taste it. Sweet and spicy. Let's try an oyster in this sauce. This is really good. But yeah, I think essentially same ingredients in both of these omelets, more or less. Just different textures, different times to cook them. Both good. And the last thing I'm going to try here is the crab fried rice. I'm almost certain that it's going to be really good. Just because it has crab in it. And anything with crab, as long as it's good crab, is really good. The only kind of bad crab is like the crab that's been sitting out for 7 days and gets all nasty looking. Even then, there's probably a way to eat it. And there's a little hot sauce that comes with it. This is like a fresher hot sauce, and I think it's not really a hot sauce, it's more like, well, let's taste it. Yeah, it's like fish sauce with chilies. That has a kick. But the lime should probably balance it out, right? Trying it without hot sauce. It's good. The crab meat is not like the softest I've ever had, but the flavor is very nice. And let's put a little chili in there and see what happens. That's actually balanced. Not overly spicy. Let's try the red chili instead of the green one, see if it's different. Now the red chili. Today the red chili is definitely spicier. but that food goes pretty quick. All in all, 2 Cokes, 2 omelets, and 1 fried rice cost me 330 baht. Kapkun. And I thought there was a familiar, not so great smell. It's those durian. They've got those things all over Southeast Asia. Many countries you'll find that they're banned in places like public transport, cabs, anywhere really, just because they smell terrible. And they taste okay. They taste well, sort of similar to a jackfruit, but this place definitely has that Chinatown vibe. I've mostly been to Chinatowns in Western countries though, where it's kind of distinct. You usually have this like Chinese style gate. Look at that guy crossing the street. But anyway, this Chinatown seems to be a little bit more of, I don't know how to describe it exactly, but a kind of sprawl. There's just businesses all over the place on the bottom floor and even some abandoned buildings around. Chinatown?
Chinatown this way.
This way, okay, thank you. Make sure I'm going the right way. And crossing the street here is a bit of an interesting experience, to say the least. Because a lot of Bangkok has pedestrian lights like that one, but for that crossing they don't have one. So it's kind of a free-for-all. But usually people are looking at you to make sure that they don't hate you, except when they're not. And that oyster omelet place basically was a Chinese restaurant, or you could call it Chinese Thai. I'm not really sure, to be honest. But as you keep going a little bit south from there, it's really like the center of Chinatown. And almost everything is in Thai and Chinese. So you can see it's like really Chinatown, and not on the outskirts anymore. And there's another street. But look, everybody stops when you just walk across the street. You don't even have to look here. Just kidding, don't take my advice. And there's like a serious concentration of businesses over right here. All kinds of street food, lottery ticket sellers. You want a coffee? They got it. Wonder if they do like a nice, I don't know, Vietnamese egg coffee. There is just a serious concentration of food options right over here. And it seems like most of them probably are Chinese, but there's a lot of varied stuff here. This is Sairogan. So good, so good. You know it? This one, it's like my favorite medicine ever. And they should really sponsor me for talking about this stuff so much, but I just love it. And the thing is, it's 299 baht, which is like, it's like $8 or something like that. And in Japan, it's usually more like $10, $11, $12. I'm so happy. I've been looking for Sairogan since I got to Asia. Looks like this shop's got a lot of other cool stuff too. For eat? Yeah. What for? Eating?
Why?
Wine. Wine. Oh. Oh, okay. Wow. So you can get a seahorse and you put it in wine? And here you can also buy ginseng from Wisconsin. Thank you. Okay, bye. Strangely, a lot of places with the Michelin guide marker around here. But anyway, I got my herbal remedy. It wasn't Chinese, it was Japanese, but it's what I wanted. So as I walk, Chinatown continues. And there seems to be a mix of like really cheap goods and then some quality stuff, like in that pharmacy I found. And the traffic on this street is just never ending from what I can tell. And there's a lot of random stuff, like these chestnuts that are kind of roasting in black rocks or charcoal or something. I've never seen it done like that. Of course, most big cities have chestnuts, just not like that exactly. And your seafood, it might or might not have been sitting there for like 10 hours. It's not too late in the day though right now. I think it's around 3 p.m. And of course, you just gotta try the local specialties. Grape, this one, special from Thailand?
No.
From? America. Which state? Which state, America?
America.
Virginia. New York. Okay. Cool. Apparently these strange looking grapes are from America. Perhaps they're GMO grapes? But anyway, I just turned off that main street because it's kind of loud. It's not as loud over here. There's a little food market or something. Although I'm not really hungry after those omelets and all that. I just want to take a look and see what they got here. And it's just kind of open air market to the extreme. Like whatever you want that they have in the country of Thailand, you could probably buy somewhere around here. But honestly, most of it looks like stuff that would just be of interest to someone living in Bangkok. And it looks like I've kind of found myself on the official walking street in Chinatown. No cars, no bikes, just people selling stuff and people buying stuff. And I wouldn't call it busy really at all here, but it is still kind of hard to walk around just because it's a very small street. So if someone wants to stop and look at something, you got to wait for them. Well, I take that back about the bikes. But basically, if someone walking in your direction is in the same direction you're walking in, wants to stop and look at something, you might just have to wait for them. Because in the other direction, there might also be people walking like there is right now. And there is a very pervasive smell over on this street that doesn't have much to do with food at all. It smells like mothballs. Which is funny because every single time that I smell mothballs that smell like that, I think back to this hotel that I stayed at in Vancouver for one night. It smelled like that very strongly. And the walking street does pass through the real street, but it looks like it's gonna continue and continue more. But again, it's my first time ever here. I'm just going with the flow. And perhaps the occasional push from the person behind me when I start walking too slow. And sometimes the occasional smell of the exhaust pipe from a motorcycle. Where's the Atlanta? Atlanta? Eh? Ah. And even though, well, probably the majority of the stuff they sell here is kind of like cheap crap, it's a fun place to walk around. They just need to get Atlanta Braves hats. I don't know what's up with that. It's the World Series winners, come on. A lot of foods here that I've just never seen before as well. But for the most part, there seem to be like pretty basic recipe type things. Some flour fried in oil with sugar or something like that, or maybe something with some green tea involved or other green stuff. Mango and air. What about not everybody here is like local or even lives in Bangkok? The majority definitely do. And going to a market like this, in basically all of Asia, is the way to go. And it says I'm about to get into the textiles and sweet section. But I thought I just came from the textiles and sweet section. So we'll see. But this street just looks like a repeat of the last one. Except for these strawberry-shaped, not strawberry things. And the thing is, it's really hot out there today, including in that little alley. But these shops all have air conditioning. So I'm just coming into a random one to cool down for like at least a few minutes. So basically when it's too hot, just take a sip of water and pretend you're looking at some beads. And that market area is known as Sampheng Market. It's pretty long, but I did the whole thing, I guess. I started in Chinatown and I kept walking all the way over here. And now there's some AC because it is so hot outside. It's actually not that ridiculously hot. It's 33 degrees Celsius. It's just really, really humid and cloudy. It's like on the verge of raining all day here, but not raining. So you know that feeling. So I'm just gonna see if I can't get some hot coffee or something in this cold, cold AC. But in here the market continues and there are prices listed on everything. The prices aren't all that high either. And someone told me that they have good coffee here, but it turns out that they've just got Starbucks. But let's see what Starbucks is like in this country. And this is actually a 2-story Starbucks. Fancy schmancy. But sometimes they do have some special local drinks, so maybe they'll have something good. Medium yuzu cold brew. Thank you. And they have a ton of different regional specials. Some of it seems like more Japanese or something like that, but got some yuzu cold brew, so let's see how that is. You definitely can't get yuzu cold brew everywhere. And it looks like yuzu cold brew isn't actually yuzu cold brew, but rather cold brew coffee with some kind of yuzu Slurpee type thing. And here I am, sitting at one of the many US embassies over in Thailand. So let's try out, this yuzu cold brew. I don't like it. This is a pretty terrible drink, in my opinion at least. I kind of expected to get like cold brew with some yuzu rind in it or something like that, but instead it's like, it's not good. It's like a Slurpee meets cold brew. Two flavors that just don't need to go together. Oh well. So with this being just my second day in Bangkok, I feel like Sampheng Market, Chinatown, and then this air-conditioned mall are a nice combination of getting to know the place. But it was definitely a challenge to stay in budget here, and Bangkok does seem pricier than some of the larger cities in neighboring countries. All in all, I was able to get a metro ride, 2 oyster omelets, some delicious crab fried rice, 2 cokes, some of my favorite Japanese herbal remedy, and a disappointing Starbucks drink. But I did end up spending 816 baht, which comes out to about $24.61, aka $4.61 more than I wanted to spend. So I'll probably just skip Starbucks on my next trip to Bangkok. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, and thanks so much for watching. See you later.